What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our Week 15 picks and previews of the games this week. And it's going to be some great games this week, of course, lots of ranked matchups. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button down low. We're doing a giveaway at 100 subscribers. We're giving away something autographed of an athlete. So make sure you're entered into that. And we're going to move right into the video here. Ty, of course. I mean, it's a common theme. You beat me again. So nothing new there, but 9-4, really kind of some surprise losses as to why he lost, didn't win every game this week.
Yeah, I don't really have any head scratching losses. All four of my losses, I'm just kind of surprised those teams lost, to be honest. So huge upset in the Houston game, big upset by Arkansas, and then USC, still kind of a fraud team, but good for them on getting that win. So it just shows how crazy college basketball has been this year, where, I would have picked the same if I went back and could do it again. I helped myself, and I still lost 4 games.
Moving to our first game, and Duke, Wake Forest, and we were talking about in the other video that it could be a trap game for them, and I honestly still think it is, but I narrowly have Duke escaping here with a win.
Yeah, I just can't pick Duke to lose in Cameron. Wake Forest defense is scary. But they just lost at home to Miami, so they're reeling a little bit. So give me Duke.
Also, on Tuesday at 7 on ESPN2, if you like scoring, this one could be for you, but probably won't be. Oklahoma, great defense. Texas, very inconsistent shooting team, but still give me Texas. I think they need a big road win. And with the loss here, this really could eliminate Oklahoma from March Madness consideration. In all honesty, they are a bubble team because they have been reeling off some big wins there. But Texas, I think this means more to them as the game before, Chris Beard plays his old team at home. So they could be looking past this one a little bit, but I don't think so. And I don't think that's going to matter. So give me Texas.
Yeah, I've just been high on Oklahoma this year, despite their record. I just think they've played really well, even in the games they've lost. And they're starting to finally play like a team that's desperate, which is what they should be, being a last four-in team right now. Last week they beat Texas Tech, dominated them, and then they lost on the last second miss at Allen Fieldhouse. So I think coming back home in this big rivalry, they already lost to Texas in kind of embarrassing fashion. So I think they'll get them back in this game and put themselves on the right side of the bubble.
And at 8 on CBS Sports Network, I think it's the biggest game of the week, and it's coming on a Tuesday night. Villanova, Providence, pretty much a battle for the Big East regular season title. Give me Providence. I've been riding high on them all year, so no way to shy away from them here, especially at home. And we ranked them 5th this week, and they're 5th for a reason, 21-2. Not too many teams that are left with 2 losses. So give me the Friars at home.
CBS Sports Network, interesting. But getting into the game, give me Villanova. I just think Providence has been playing with fire for a while. Zach knows that better than anyone with the money he has on him. But I think they're 9-0, games decided by 5 or less. So that's a good stat to have, but it also means they've played a lot of close games. And I think it's finally going to catch up to them. Villanova really needs a win like this. I think they'll go in there and get it. But I still think Providence will win the Big East.
And at 9, a very good game. And let's see how Tennessee can respond after absolutely getting throttled in Rupp Arena last time. And I don't think it's going to matter because I think Kentucky's going to go in there and kind of do the same thing. The score may not be as big, but I think Kentucky will come out with a win. And it seems like Kentucky always has Tennessee's number when it's in SEC play.
Yeah, man, it's tough to go with Tennessee here. I know what happened the first time, but I just think ever since that, they've circled this game, and they've also been playing much better since, obviously getting embarrassed by Kentucky, losing by 28 the first matchup. But they've been a scary team at home, and they've already beat Arizona in that building, who's a top 3 team. And I think with Kentucky going in there, this is the big win that they'll get to kind of, establish themselves as a contender again. But if Kentucky wins, they're the best team in the country.
Also, you got another big Big Ten matchup, Wisconsin, Indiana. And as you can see here, neither of us are really confident, I think, in either of these picks because they're really just coin flip games. But I'm going with Wisconsin here. I just think Johnny Davis is a better player than Trace Jackson Davis. And I think it's going to come down to which star player plays better. I mean, it could be the other way around in this matchup because Indiana's at home. But I think just off of what I've seen this year, I like Johnny Davis better in the matchup. So give me the Badgers.
Yeah, speaking of teams that are desperate, Indiana, not quite on the bubble yet. They're a little above it, but they've really been sliding lately. And, I still have confidence that this isn't the same Indiana team that we've seen the last 5 years. It just, completely fades in February and March. And I think they're a tough matchup for Wisconsin. Jackson Davis, I think Wisconsin doesn't really have someone to match up with him. And Indiana plays good guard defense. So I think Johnny Davis can be shut down to an extent in this game. And I think Indiana, they played them so close in Madison. And I think coming back home, they'll get the big win.
Moving over to Wednesday at 9 o'clock, we got Baylor at Texas Tech. And a game I think Baylor desperately needs. I know that you can see that they only have 4 losses there, but in conference play, I know they want to win the Big 12, and we'll see how they can respond after the gruesome injury that we saw in their last game. And at the center position, who do they even have at depth? I really couldn't tell you because after what was his name, Chachua or something like something like, I think that's his name. But after he went down, Baylor, did cruise to a victory, but I think it was more of a shock of both teams. They didn't really know what to do now because he's such a key piece of that team. And they will have a good game plan going in. I think Texas Tech doesn't really know what to game plan for now because he's out. And I think Baylor will use that to their advantage and walk away with the W.
Yeah, I just think it's an injured Baylor team now. And we've seen an injured Baylor team, obviously different players being out, but they really struggled for 2 or 3 weeks when they weren't healthy. And I think going back to, playing depleted, now you're going into a tough environment. I think Texas Tech's going to be able to get this win. They bounced back really well from their Oklahoma loss. I think that woke them up a little bit. And I think they carry that into this game and get another big win, which they've had a lot of this year.
Moving to Thursday night, we got Houston at UCF. And we're going to see how Houston can respond here. And it's really been mostly, they've been cruising when Sasser went down. We finally saw last week 2 losses for this Houston team. AP poll dropped them a lot more than we did, but I think we still got to give them credit for only having 4 losses and 2 of the 4 coming without their best player in the same week. And I think they can respond here with a win. It could get a little sketchy because this UCF team does show fight and they play a lot of close games. But I just think at home, Houston is really needing that win right now. And I think they'll get it.
I do think I want to say Houston's going to blow them out, but I do think it'll be a little closer than people think, just because of the way Houston's kind of struggling right now. I thought they'd come out against Memphis and play really angry and kind of blow them out, and they lost by double digits. So I don't know what happened there, but playing on their home court against a team they already dominated, I think they should get the win. But I'm going to say it's by single digits.
And moving to Saturday, a big slate of game on Saturday. We'll start with Illinois at Michigan State, and give me Illinois solely because of Kofi Cockburn. I don't think anyone can match up with State on him, and I honestly could see him putting up a 30-point game here if he stays out of foul trouble because Michigan State has had really no consistent scorer. I mean, Malik Hall was their scorer on, Saturday when they won. Big game there. And game before that, Gabe Brown was the guy. So it really is going to come down to who can be the scorer. And if it's unfortunately a center, I think Kofi's going to go at him, try to get him out of the game early. And if that's the case, I think Illinois could honestly win this game by double digits.
Yeah, I think Michigan State has enough guys to throw at Kofi where they're not going to quite stop him, but they can really frustrate him. They can foul him. They have 4 centers they can run out there, to at least best to stop him or just foul him. And they have 20 fouls to give. So he's been, kind of susceptible to being frustrated by other teams. And then he starts to struggle. So I think this will be one of those games. And Michigan State's guards, I think, can really lock down on Frazier and Curbelo. And Michigan State, I think, playing at Breslin, they'll be able to get the big win.
And a matchup that we saw last week, UConn, Xavier, Xavier, they walked away with a victory last time at home, a very close game. And I kind of see the same thing happening here, except UConn winning because they're at home. And I think both of these teams really need this win, but UConn needs it more because of what we've seen in their last, 5, 6 games. Really been super inconsistent. And I think UConn is going to walk away with a big victory here.
Yeah, UConn's really been struggling the last few weeks. Xavier's been inconsistent all year. I'm going to go with the home team here. I think UConn's the better team anyway, but playing on their home floor, I think they should get the win, especially after they just lost to Xavier. They'll be out for revenge in this game, and I think they'll get it.
And at 12:30, we got Texas Tech, Texas. Give me Texas. I think Beard will win this matchup. It is at home, going against this old school who absolutely embarrassed them in their place this year. And I think Texas, but more importantly, Chris Beard has circled this game since that loss. In prime time on ABC, I think they have one game every week on ABC. And so obviously, if it's on ABC, it's a big game. And especially in the Big 12, where everything's bigger in the Big 12, in Texas too. Give me Texas, the Longhorns reeling for a huge win.
Yeah, Texas Tech was very motivated for the first game, obviously with Beard leaving, but Texas being embarrassed by their play and the fans, I think they're going to be motivated now to get their revenge on Texas Tech, and I think they'll win a very close game. I do think Texas Tech's the slightly better team, but going on the road, it's going to be a tough environment for sure, and I think Texas will get the close win here.
And at 1, we got Alabama and Kentucky, our 26th best team in Alabama. And at 7, we got Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky loses in the Rupp. Alabama, this is going to be their inconsistent game, and I think Kentucky's going to win in a blowout.
Yeah, I don't think Alabama will shoot 3 for 30 again from 3, but I do think Kentucky's a bad matchup for them. Too much size across the board, and Alabama just relies on the 3, and frankly, they're not good at it. They shoot like 29%, I think, as a team this year. So that's not going to get it done against this talented Kentucky team. I think they'll win pretty easily at home.
And at 4, we got Tennessee and Arkansas. And if you're a Tennessee fan, it's going to be a rough week for you, at least if I'm right on both these picks. I'm going with Arkansas at home. If they can beat the #1 team in the country at home, there's no doubt in my mind they can be the 18th team in the country at home. And the team that's really been on a hot streak before that Alabama loss, 9 in a row. So they're 9-10, or won 9 out of their last 10. And I think that's trend is going to continue as they're just going to keep on reeling wins off here and be a very hot team going to the SEC tournament and March Madness.
Yeah, watch out because the Muss Bus is back rolling. I don't know what was going on in late December, early January, but they've really got things figured out. And that's a really tough place to play now. You saw it in the Auburn game. So I think Tennessee, I haven't beaten Kentucky. So I think this is a tough game to get back up for after a huge win. And Arkansas is a really hot team, and I think they'll get this win again.
And at 1, well, let's see how this happens again. I'm going with Wisconsin. And last time I picked against my favorite team, they won. So I'm going with some reverse psychology here. And I really want Michigan to win, but Wisconsin at home. And Michigan really needs the win, but I just can't pick against Johnny Davis because he's a guard and Michigan has no guard play. So I think that's all you really need to know for this game. But Dickinson and Houston and Diabate really could have some good games, but at the end, it's going to come down to guard play. So give me Wisconsin.
I do think this is a matchup that Michigan can actually match up well against Wisconsin, but tough place to play for sure. And, Michigan, it seems like they either make 12 threes or they make 4, and they usually make 4. So that's what I'm going to go with for this game. But, I just think the matchups, despite the shooting, Michigan can get it done. I think Brooks can play solid defense against Davis. And I think Michigan's going to win a very ugly game in like a 1-60 kind of game.
In our last game for the week, we got Purdue and Rutgers, and I honestly wouldn't put this game on here if it weren't for last week and what we've seen out of this Rutgers team. And even Purdue, watching them get absolutely throttled by Michigan on the road. And Rutgers has won 3 AP games in a row before we've made this video, obviously, before this Sunday game. If they win again, 2 more, they got Illinois and Purdue. And if they're at 4 in a row going in this game, there's no doubt in my mind that they could win this game at 5 because 5 AP wins in a row it's probably got to be a record or something. I mean, it's super uncommon to have 3 in a row, especially, ripping off 4 and then 5. There's no doubt in my mind that Rutgers will instantly be in the tournament, or at least on the bubble. But I just don't see that happening. I think Rutgers is finally going to cool down. And even if they win this week, I think Purdue is going to get the best of them here, and Jaden Ivey and company will take over.
Yeah, Rutgers is a very scary team. They're one of the hottest teams in the country right now. Purdue's struggling a little bit, but I just don't see Rutgers going in the Mackey and getting this win. I think Purdue, sooner rather than later, is going to find themselves again. They're just too good of a team to struggle for a long period of time. So I think they should win this game pretty easily, even if Rutgers is coming off a fourth AP win.
And that's going to be it for our video today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to be entered into our 100 subscriber giveaway. Comment below if you think our picks are going to be a little different than yours. Hit that like button as always to, make sure we're putting out some good content for you guys. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.
She never called back.